Okay, there's Andy. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the November 12th Governance and Nominating Committee meeting for the CEDC. This morning, we are interviewing a candidate for an open board position. We have 4 open board positions currently and are looking to fill them. So this is Christine Hens. Christine and I'm sorry. There's
yeah, the resume's not.
The resume's not here.
I haven't pulled up my phone, so
If you want to bring around some copies.
Yeah, let's do that. Just to introduce her, Christine and I met professionally. We both had careers before moving upstate in New York. I was in advertising, she was in PR, so sort of similar. And we met doing a deal that didn't go through, but we just kind of, I noticed her because I was on the CEDC meetings remotely and I noticed she was there too. And I thought, that's funny, there's no other people I know on this meeting except for her. We just were like-minded. Both of us served on the short-term rental committees in our town and have just similar care for the community and involvement. She lives in Taconic and is working with Coldwell Banker and the Catskill office. But you do a lot of business in Columbia County.
most of my business is Columbia County and Greene County. But you live in Taconic. I live in Taconic. I don't know if that's a prompt to just jump in.
You might.
Yeah, my husband and I started out in the town of Taconic. We bought a house in 2007, so I don't know, the math is hard for me, but 17 years, I guess. We were weekenders to start, and then my work and my husband's work allowed us to be part-timers, and then we went overseas for a couple of years, and when we came back, we decided, we were done with New York City and wanted to be upstate full-time. So that happened in 2017, 2018, and we've been full-time ever since. So I've said from having a career in New York City to kind of finding my way on the job front in Columbia County and seeing the challenges there for jobs and economic development and stuff, and jumped into real estate and really have just been so happy with this career change. Just really enjoying the business and mostly connecting more to the community, getting to know people that run the towns, that have big businesses and throughout the area, and just being on the front lines with people. Yeah.
So tell us a funny story.
No. Good icebreaker.
So what are your impressions of the business community here in Columbia County? How would you describe it?
Partially vibrant. There's a lot of creativity that's going on out there. I love seeing businesses that have been established for a very long time and that continue to look for new ways to reach their consumers or their audiences, particularly in like agritourism, places like Semascot or Golden Harvest or Chatham-Berry Farm. They have something really good there and they bring something else to it, whether it's, doing the cideries or, the apple picking, and that just, all their offerings, the corn mazes, everything, it just continues to develop. So I love seeing things like that. I also see businesses that are struggling and need help, and one of the things that I think is a challenge is that they don't know where to go, and coming from a publicity background, I think it's, if they knew that the resources were there, I just see some businesses, for instance, one farm that has gone out of business, you know, and I look at what's happened there and their business and how it sort of spiraled down and to shut down. And I'm like, well, you know, Farm Credit East could have helped you, CEDC could have helped you. You know, there are all these, but they didn't know what was there for them. So I think, you know, publicity and education is really an important component of helping our community and our businesses grow.
So we have to, one of our challenges along the same lines is getting the word out about CEDC, marketing ourselves here. What do you have what's your impression of CEDC, or do you have an impression of CEDC? And do you have any thoughts on how we could do a better job of getting that information out to the people that you mentioned? And because it's been a challenge for us.
Yeah, I mean, I like to think I'm a problem solver. I don't feel like I know enough yet about CEDC. I don't want to be arrogant and be like, you should be doing this, you should be doing that. But I have participated online with the short-term rental presentations that have been done. I've attended the affordable housing seminars that have been done with CEDC. They were so well attended in my town. We had standing room only. I was so taken by the thoughtfulness, the holisticness of the ideas of affordable housing and teaming up with Habitat for Humanity. That I'm like, I can't wait to see this happen. Yeah, I mean, I think I worked in, you know, one of my past jobs was working with Puerto Rico Convention Bureau. They're a meetings organization and it's a membership organization. You know, I think the executive director of that business, you know, he woke up and said, "What are you doing?" He would say to you, like, "What are you doing for our business today? You know, how are you helping us with our members? You know, because that's what we're paying you to do." So we were always kind of working to try to come up with how are we serving our membership? How, you know, what can we do better? And I think that's, you know, something that I would try to bring here is like, how can we connect the dots better? One of the things that I did with the Puerto Rico Convention Bureau was bringing, since it was a Hispanic organization, we had a lot of really top tier professionals in different sectors of the business community, whether it was medical or manufacturing, you know, that sort of thing. They were these top tier people and we were like, well, you have influences on your associations that would bring large meetings to Puerto Rico. How can we tap into that? How can we make that happen? So we put together an organization called the Hispanic Ambassadors Program. And we treated these people like VAPs and we had them in for brainstorming and roundtables and we got them to connect with each other and it worked. I mean, we were able to get the key people that were I guess the people that make the decisions on who brings the business to Puerto Rico and get them on the island and sign a lot of contracts. So we got, you know, a pipeline of citywide conventions, that sort of thing. And I can see something similar happening here, you know, in different sectors, whether it's education or, you know, I see a lot of retired people that have come up here that, you know, boy, they have so much to offer, you know, and how can we connect them to kids in the schools or Questar or something like that, you know? I think there could be a lot of synergies there to help people along that way. But beyond that, CEDC. I mean, the website's gorgeous.
That's good, that's good to hear.
Planning council.
No,
It's simple, it's crisp, it's not meant to be flashy.
No, it's not, it does its job, and I learned a lot, I've, been looking at it more closely and, like, the different sectors that you're mentioning, there was agricultural, and I'm like, I can see that there would be a lot of synergies between, CEDC and Farm Credit East, I don't know what you're doing there, but maybe more publicity there would be good,
Riley, make sure you get that as a testimonial to the
Yeah,
website.
exactly.
We'll put that right up.
We might not be able to take you on the board, because we want to keep you in influencer.
Sure.
I think when we joke because, with 17 board members, and staff, and 7 staff, we have 25 different opinions on the website. So.
Sure.
Some are close, some are. I think the key, as to websites is the keeping it up to date. And we've struggled with social media because it's time consuming to do it right. And we don't know at this point how many of the people we're trying to reach in Columbia County are on social media at the level that you would
Right.
do it. But that's something that,
And it's a business to business
yeah.
communication, really, right?
Yeah.
Isn't
And
it at this
there's
point?
2,000 businesses in the county. 75% of them have less than 10 employees. So
Wow.
business owners are not, going to 2 day, we, Star wanted to have a all day conference on what businesses need for workforce. They'll come for an hour and a half. They can't leave their business for a whole day
Right,
it's not all anywhere. You have
Right.
someone you can send whose job that is.
right.
So it is,
Yeah,
I
it's-
like your ideas because, we do need to raise the visibility for a number of reasons. And at the same time, live within the constraints that, we have here and at this, and also recognize that, right now, Martha, how many loans did we do this so far?
30. Oh, my
We've
goodness.
done 30 loans, we couldn't do 60, we don't have the staff or the,
Right.
or the
Right.
resources, but by having someone come in and, with a fresh look, identifying, learning the 4 corners of the organization, like you, indicated would be the first step, and get new advice, I think would be really exciting. Our biggest constraint on housing is we only have 6 sewer districts. So,
Right,
unless you're gonna get the Board of Health to allow you to build more than 4 units on a septic,
right,
you're out of business.
right.
But knowing those things and giving you the background and experience and factual data, the creativity that our board brings on looking at these things and figuring out the path of least resistance with respect to what we're facing and what we want to accomplish is critical.
Mhm.
That's exciting.
Anyone else?
Yeah, we should just give Christine some background about how we operate here, how the board functions. The board meeting on the 4th or 5th Tuesday of the month, 8:30 in the morning. Those board meetings last from 30 minutes to an hour and a half. In between board meetings are committee meetings. Governance and nominating committee is one of them. There's an executive committee. Loan committee. Finance committee. A new audit committee. Executive. The board members are expected to officially become members of CEDC by investing in a membership. And membership dues range from
$250 to
$250
$2,500.
for a micro business to
$2,500.
There's a lot of oversight on the part of the state authority budget office. It can be kind of burdensome at times. They require us to do things a certain way. They require new board members to take an online training session that lasts for like 3 days. No,
An hour.
Maybe 3 hours.
They say 3 hours, it's over in an hour.
Yeah.
Okay.
And there are conflict of interest disclosure forms to file and lots of paperwork and bureaucratic stuff.
Okay.
But
It's
we.
really selling it.
we-
Yeah.
We're used to that.
Sounds
No,
great,
it's
but
like,
yeah.
Cool,
The
what
rest you'd be
paperwork?
surprised like I was.
Undersell and over deliver.
And I think that, we do pretty well with, the Authority Budget Office, rules and regulations, knock on wood, because tomorrow they'll cite us for something, but, I think that, our funding really guides some of our, strategies. We do get $460,000 a year from Columbia County in lieu of, them having an economic development office. They contract with us to, many counties have one
Okay.
as part of their planning department. We have a $275,000 grant from the SBA to provide small business loans and technical services.
Okay.
And Martha runs that, and Steve works with her on that, and Riley, or Kat does all the bookkeeping. We have over about 300 outstanding loans right now. Over the last 7 or 8 years, we've done $5 million in small business loans with a $150,000 write-off. We think people pay us first because Martha and Steve treat them so well. We, as part of our efforts with the county, they had designated us as the broadband coordinator.
Oh, yeah.
We
I
went
saw
from 3,500 unserved or underserved addresses down to about 600 now. If you're one of those 600 people, you're not too happy with us, but along the way, we've been able to really make an impact there.
Well, I don't think people really see how far that's come over the last,
Well, and if you already had it, it didn't matter.
yeah, I was in Chiconic and we were very much underserved and, it was middle of pandemic when we finally got the fiber cable in from detail and, I mean, we were like dancing in the driveway. It completely changed our life. To be able, work-wise, I could pay bills online, and I could, didn't have to go to the local bar to download the apps and update my, I mean, and this is, and it's a big deal for children and education.
Well, especially with so many micro businesses and
Right.
gig economy workers.
Mhm. Which is big here, which,
As you point out, and you're fully aware with your real estate background, that the housing issue is critical. Our median household income in that county is $80,000.
Yeah.
You can only afford a $150,000 house on an $80,000 household income. There aren't any. It went from
not very livable.
It went from 240 in 2019 to, 450 to 500 now, depending on how many $1 million homes are in the monthly average. So the county, based on our work in broadband, asked us to lead that effort. Chris Brown is our housing coordinator and doing a great job. We've been getting a number of grants and different additional funding sources. And on the grants that we can get for small businesses or for housing or for other areas, we get to take the big, we can get anywhere from $15,000 to $30,000 per grant towards our operational revenue. And, we did get significant additional support from the county from ARPA money. We partner very closely with the chamber and a list of 30 other organizations, each of who may have a lead role where we either lead, we either partner, or we either support.
Okay,
There is Hudson Valley Agribusiness Development, which is a close partner of ours. They are a 7-county business that provides loans and similar services that we provide to general businesses, to ag businesses. But there's a lot of crossover between our client base and how we work. And Martha and Steve and I probably are in contact with their staff at least 2 or 3 times a week. on different projects. Eric Trout from Golden Harvest is on our board.
Oh, okay.
We also provide technical services. If you're a small business, we can give you up to 10 or 12 hours of a consultant that we hire for, what we pay for you. And they can do business plans, they can do marketing, they can set up your website, they can help you set up QuickBooks.
Wow,
And
that's amazing.
again, we're constrained by the ability to process new clients and fund the work that is being done. But again, you know, I think as we look at our 3 to 5 year budget, we did get a little bit flush with the COVID money, and that's gone. And so we do have to look at how we're going to manage that. We have about $50,000 of membership dues.
Okay,
We try not to compete with the chamber, which is why our pricing is a little higher.
okay,
And we partner very closely with the chamber. And at the same time, I think we do have to figure out how to build that. The challenge is that the people who are the candidates to market, to contribute at a higher level to CEDC, because they're also chamber members, are the 50 to 100 businesses that are in the know that we're getting $500,000 a year from the county. And so, you know, how many times do I have to funnel money to CEDC? But I think we have the respect and collaborative support of the Board of Supervisors on both sides of the political equation. We work closely with our state and federal representatives, including you know, Trumer and Gillibrand's regional staff and Washington Economic Development Team. Certainly work with Empire State Development, NYSERDA, Department of Labor. On the workforce and education side, we're very engaged with the community college, the 6 school districts, Questar, as well as the New York Works Office at the college and the Columbia Green Workforce Investment Board.
okay.
But you can start to see we can be an inch wide and a mile wide and an inch deep. And so having a board that focuses us on strategic plan and specific tasks under goals and under that plan is important. We're about to redo our plan. We do it about every 3 years.
Okay,
But, and I think we've been the victim of our own success in terms of the number of people are calling us about all kinds of concierge services that, you know, it's great because, you know, we feel that I think the whole team feels that we're at the epicenter of what goes on in the county. But it becomes challenging the more we get that reputation. But it's fun. It's
Yeah.
exciting.
Yeah.
And it's clear that the team and I are very, very proud of what we do, realizing that no one ever gets more than 85% on the test. Or at least I never.
So we as a board provide the oversight and the direction, but what makes this organization hum is an extraordinary staff who are outstanding at what they do, their own particular focus, but also work tremendously as a team.
And Martha and Steve, on our loan fund, we have a county loan fund and an SBA loan fund. And we just got a word because the federal government's on a October 1 fiscal year. We were the top provider of small business microloans in upstate New York this year. And I think one of the things that was most putting all that out there, what made me happiest this week was, you know, our tenants here, the building manager has a cleaning staff service they bring in. And one of the women in the cleaning staff brought us individual lunches for today, just because she wanted to. And
Really nice.
you know, it really shows the ability to engage with whoever we encounter.
Yeah.
You know, whether it's we're very involved with Clock Estates.
Oh, okay.
Got them over $3.5 million of state grant money. So we have a whole list of projects, and that too puts us in a difficult spot, because I think some people feel, well, we're only serving those that we get money for. And we're not cross-marketing that we're working for anyone that comes to the door on the smaller size businesses. So some of the marketing things that you're talking about, I think could really work out well.
Questions?
No, that was a lot of information.
They make me put it in writing now for board meetings.
Right? Yeah,
Which is good.
no,
Yeah. A
no,
lot's going on, but you're out and about in the county and you know that there's a lot going on. So if organizations like this don't realize that we're really out of touch.
And you were aware of the CD, you were attending meetings and things.
Yeah,
like that.
absolutely.
So it's
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah, no, this isn't like,
Out of the way.
right, right.
Part of it is, how do you know, what is a CEDC? And then, how do you mask that from being Columbia Economic Development Corporation, which sounds very government and formal.
Sure.
And we do
And how do
have,
you make it more accessible to, especially, a small business owner, right?
And then-
I know before I was, working as a real estate agent, I was, working as a freelance,
In Dubai.
publicist. Yeah, and also in New York, but I did that for 10 years, and I never thought I would qualify for any kind of grants or help or anything, but in those first 2 years, when I set up my business, things like billing and understanding all that stuff. Somebody gave me a book. I was very lucky to get this book, because that told me a couple of things, but if I had had a resource like this, that could have come in and been like, this is the QuickBooks, and let's get you a quick website going, like, that would have saved me 6 months of work, and yeah, exhaustion. So I guess, looking at that though, from, overview of the work that I come from, it's really a matter of how do you systematize, helping people like that, right? Because it is a lot of people need a lot of help, and if it isn't how do you turnkey it if it isn't turnkey?
Yeah, we've looked at some of that. We looked at some of the larger county organizations, and we haven't gotten to this yet for both engagement reasons and process reasons, but one makes you fill out the form online if you want to do business with us.
Right.
But I find that I'm on the bank board, and we find that some banks that put up you want a mortgage, you got to fill out enough information that they can decide. It turns people off because they don't want to tell you too much and find out that they don't qualify. And so
Yeah, there's a
you
fear.
got to be open. So it's
We have good word of mouth referral, and I think every single business owner in the county knows who Martha is. Stephen, this is another couple of years, but everyone I talk to knows. That's great things.
so
Okay, and so then you're serving as ambassadors as well,
Yeah.
in your businesses to the.
And the board.
CEDC. Yeah, the board, yeah.
So you're still interested in becoming a member of the board of CEDC?
I would love that.
But so what'll happen from here
Yeah.
is that after you leave, we'll talk about you behind your back.
Okay.
and we'll turn the door closed.
She didn't have a funny story.
And then the committee will make a recommendation to the full board. The board meeting is when? Next Tuesday?
Next Tuesday, we're having it early because of the way Thanksgiving falls this year. So,
And the board will consider
Consider
a
it.
nomination, and assuming that they approve it, you would become a board member immediately. And by December something, you'll be here at the board meeting,
Okay,
and we'll get you on a committee, and you're off and running.
okay, great. Any other questions?
thank you for coming in.
Yeah,
thank you.
Thanks for having a great discussion.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Time and consideration.
My favorite interview was I asked someone, what's your greatest strength and weakness? And this young kid said, well, assuming I had any weaknesses. I hired him.
That's the classic.
Okay, thank you. See you. Thanks so much.
Good to meet you.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you. Great to meet you.
We get it, we get it.
I think their development needs.
Executive session?
Yeah. Need a
I'll
motion?
make a motion.
I'll second. Everyone in favor?
Aye.
Yeah. Anyone opposed? Okay, so moving on, we need a motion to recommend Christine to the full board. I'll make that motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? So carried. Great, thank you so much. Next on the agenda are the draft minutes from August 13th.
Motion approved.
Second,
Second.
all those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? So moved. And next is the governance and nominating committee charter, which we have in the back of our packet. Mike, do you wanna talk about what change, I see some,
You know, the only changes relate,
this is the highlighted
yes, it's,
line.
we took a paragraph out and we updated it.
Oh, so, yeah,
Although I can't see anywhere where there's a change because, you know, if you look at,
is the underlying the new one?
Yeah.
They were just like
Yeah,
a
but if you look at
minor
the-
change.
it must be, well, because if you look at it, go down,
All the lines.
they all start with the same letter and they end with the
Yes,
same letter.
proofreading.
Determine and vote are switched.
Okay, determine and vote,
Yeah, so it says instead of determine, it's like vote upon,
okay. So it told us how we would determine it.
yes.
So, and what line is that on? Yeah.
That is on the second to last line.
Pursuant to the following,
Okay,
Oh, yeah.
determine,
The governance and nominating committee will
determine which candidates to recommend. Okay, so that's the
Same
same.
sentence, which is what we are doing.
That's what we're doing. And then the other composition and selection says comprised of at least 5 or more. I figure at least
So just
5,
at
you don't
least
need
5.
more. And then,
And that determines how many members of the committee,
the membership of
the
this
membership of
committee.
the committee
Yeah.
will be comprised of
Oh,
at
I
least
see.
5.
I was too busy.
And then at the top of the next page, nominating and governance committee
Will be selected
shall
by
be
the
selected by
chair
the chair.
Yeah, that one.
of the board of directors.
Directors. And, you know, that was consistent with how the other committee chairs are selected. And then going over to, and we gotta get page numbers on these.
In addition, the governance and nominating committee shall
Right,
develop and recommend the slate of officers to be elected.
It's the same.
It is.
so that's what we're gonna do today. And
So is there any change in that?
Was there supposed to be a change in that?
develop and recommend the slate of officers to be elected at the November Board of Directors meeting. No, because remember, we changed, I think what we might have done is we changed it so that, we're electing the officers in November so that they would, you know, take office in January. So with those, changes, Chair, I would recommend that the committee consider adopting this.
So moved.
Second.
Second, all those in favor?
Aye.
So moved. Okay. I feel like that one maybe. The last one, I'm just wondering what changed. Nothing changed. So that's what we were doing. So next is the board and committee attendance. for the year.
This is the chart that Lisa maintains.
Yeah.
You know, the bylaws provide that if you miss a certain number of meetings, that either the chair of the governance and nominating committee or the board chair or both would meet with the board member to determine whether or not you know, it was something that was unavoidable or whether there's a situation where they don't have time to continue to serve on the board. I think we've done that on occasion. Generally, it's been the board chair. And in some cases, you know, people acknowledged that they were certain business or personal things they were dealing with, and they'd be back on a regular basis. I think one of the issues we have to look at is making clear to board members that while they're not really fully participating when they participate by Zoom, unless they meet one of the criteria that the
Yeah.
statute sets up, where you're sick, you're not capable of coming,
You're a caregiver.
or a caregiver. I think, I'm pleased that when people can't make it, they participate, but they really shouldn't, think they can vote. Because it doesn't count for a quorum, and it doesn't count towards, although we've never had a contentious vote where we needed to, have a whip to be sure that, majority got what they wanted. But, and I don't want to be, overly outspoken about that. I just think we've had several occasions lately where if they're all in favor and the people on the screen said aye or nay, I think it's just the people in the room need to know that if they go there, they're not helping us with the forum.
With the forum.
Yeah.
And we have had a meeting. There was
We
a
had to
meeting
cancel a meeting because we
recently,
never-
like at the end of the
That's the
summer.
issue.
Yeah.
So
maybe in your-
does everyone know that, or
That's
are
what
they
I,
thinking
yeah,
of
I
that?
think
Yeah.
that, I think they don't know it if they're voting. I think it's great that if they can't make it, that they have enough, ability or interest to listen in. But I do think they need to understand that that puts them on this list as absent. But I want to be careful about I'm not suggesting that there aren't times when you can't make a meeting.
Right. So do you wanna, is this to be brought up at the full board meeting to remind everyone in a way? Like,
Yeah, let's do that.
do you want me to kind of read something?
Why don't I put a
Instead
brief
of it coming
paragraph
from
together
you?
on what the law is, so it's not,
Yeah.
we're not telling you what you have to do.
Yeah.
It's all your.
It's their idea.
Yeah.
Bill Hinchy and Barrett and tell them you want to be able to vote.
Direct complaints to this number.
I'll be the bad cop. But I don't think, I think sometimes board members don't realize what a big deal it is. You know, that they're just showing up, it's not just
Well,
showing up for a meeting, actually, we can't approve loans, and that's a really big deal.
And I think you're moving in the right direction of engaging the board more, so presumably. But, you know, I've been on a bank board for 30 years where I've missed 2 meetings, because that's the culture. Probably, and also you don't get paid. But, you know, this is not that kind of a board. This is a volunteer board, and if something serious comes up at your business or with your family, you know.
Because we talked about the attendance, but then just reminding everyone too,
And
that, because if you know in advance
Yeah.
that you're not going to make a meeting I mean, it's that sort of reminder too.
And Lisa does a great job getting it out early and,
Yeah.
you know, taking a head count. But there are times when, you know, you come down with a cold, we don't want you coming to the meeting anyway.
So you'll prepare something, are we sharing the attendance?
What
With
do we
the full
normally do,
board?
Lisa?
I
Do
feel
we
like
have to
we've
vote
done
on
that before.
You do have to vote on this, and normally what we do is, I'll just send the last page. With the full board. I can send the other ones. Just the full board.
I
don't want-
think that one's a quick
I don't wanna
read.
shame anybody.
Yeah,
you
I don't
know,
want-
I mean, I just,
And I would take the,
Zoom with entry.
I would take those last two,
Categories though?
well, I recognize that they were there by Zoom, but without, not with any, unknown reason.
Okay.
Well, and maybe that's part of the paragraph, is just reminding everyone what, if you're attending by Zoom,
So I
you're
get that
actually
to
not
you.
voting, you're not
And
able to
I
vote.
get that to you tomorrow, so
Okay.
you can, if the board meeting is Tuesday.
Yeah.
So you can question if you're, think it needs to be revised or.
Okay, and so are we voting on, we're just voting on presenting that? Or approving it?
Motion
Yeah,
approved.
yeah, okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
So carried. Okay. That brings us to the end of the agenda, unless there's other business.
I would just like to introduce our newest
Yeah.
staff member, Alondra. Alondra joined us at 7:30 this morning.
Oh.
We did interview her,
Amazing.
we did interview her 2 weeks ago or a month ago.
Congratulations.
Could you just
Thank
give the, 30-second elevator pitch?
My name is Alondra Cedro. I'm the new project manager here at CEDC. I was actually transplanted from Seattle with my partner, and so we moved to Felicia actually. So yeah, today's my first day.
Amazing.
And the 2 or 3 related businesses or organizations you worked for in Seattle that made you interested in economic development were?
So I started off originally in my career as an economic development specialist for a nonprofit called Belltown United. I then transitioned to a development specialist role in a different nonprofit called CMART Community Health Centers, which focuses on like holistic health, so society, like dental and all sorts of things. And I was doing more grants on that side. And then my last job was at King County government. I was a project manager for grants and performance analyst. Until, I came back for the East Coast to deal with some outdoor care in my family. And now I'm here, so. really great.
Amazing.
Great.
And my question for you is, when did you learn how to pronounce Felicia?
Way too late, and with like confidence and gusto, I'm in Hanford, and I'm like, yeah, that's valid to you.
And I learned how to pronounce your name this morning, so thank you.
Learning curve.
So we're excited, and everyone was here early this morning to welcome you, but they didn't know that's why they came in early. We're looking forward to having you work with us.
Okay. And no one from the public has joined?
I used to get Linda Mussman, so I have to invite her
Yeah,
back.
it's been a while.
It's lonely out there, never gets from the public. Okay, so, motion to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much.